The laws of theft. Intricate laws. Let's go now into interesting chapter 7. The laws of theft about weights. Huh? I mean, yes, because today's Tuesday, yeah, so you can't park either side here. Yeah. To think for a moment. When a person weighs it for a colleague using weights that are less than the weights accepted by the people in that country, or measures using a measure that contains less than the measure used by the people of that country, he violates a negative commandment. It says, do not act deceitfully with regard to the judgment concerning measures, weights, and liquid measures. Right? So, right, because if they weigh less, then when you sell the produce, you're going to sell less produce for the same price, right? So you're going to make more money for yourself, which is dishonest. Okay. Although a person who measures with an accurate measure or weight is a thief, he's not required to make double payment of the stolen amount. All that's necessary is to give the proper weights measure of the article that was sold. Lashes are not given to a violation of this transaction because the thief is obligated to make financial restitution. Second. Interesting. In the Talmud, it says that it's a law of a gazlan, of a robber, not of a thief. But yet these are in the laws of theft. And that's why there isn't a double payment. Whoever possesses an imperfect measure or weight in his home or store violates a negative commandment. Even if you have it just in your possession, not usage we're talking about here, just in your possession, you violate a negative commandment because the verse says you shall not have in your pocket two sets of weights. One may not even use the imperfect measure as a chamber pot, right? For even if one does not use the imperfect measure of oneself to buy and sell, another person who does not know that it's an imperfect weight, right, may come and use it as a measure, right? So someone else might use it. So you're not even allowed to own it. Lashes are not administered for this violation of this transgression because it does not involve a deed, right? You just have possession of it. You didn't use it, right? So, right, violation of a prohibition of the Torah, there can be lashes if a person was warned, right, about it. But here, you didn't do anything. You just have it. Okay. Number 4. If a standard seal was affixed to all measures and the weights in a city, and the imperfect measure did not have such a seal, it is permitted to leave it for the other household purposes. Right. So in other words, if you're in a city that you have um, a seal that is guaranteeing that these are proper weights, then if you have a weight without a seal, then everybody knows it's not a proper weight. Then it's okay to use it as a as a weight for your if your paper's on your desk, if you want to use it for, right, or for something else. Similarly, when a sella became blemished at its side, a person should not use it as a weight, nor should he cast it among the pieces of scrap metal, nor should he drill a hole on it and hang it around his son's neck, lest another person come and make it appear as a weight. Instead, one should grind it into powder, cut it into small pieces, pulverize it, and throw it in the Dead Sea. In other words, I guess they used a sella. They used coins because coins were of a weight, so that you would use it as a measuring tool. And here, this one is blemished, so it's missing some. So now you want to use it for another thing. You want to make a little, for your kid and, something to play with, that they have a little necklace or something. No, don't do it. Grind it up, throw it away, whatever it is, don't use it. If the size of the cylinder was reduced to the extent that it was halved, it may be used, because that's obvious now that it's on a weight, right? If it was reduced to less than half or more than a half, it should be cut in until it becomes a half. If it was reduced to less than a sixth of its worth, it may be used for buying and selling, but not as a weight. It's still a coin to do business with. So you could.
It be used as a means of exchange.
Yeah, the reason it may be used is that most people will forgo any loss that's less than a sixth. Okay, I have to stop here.